And hello everybody, or nobody, doesn't matter. Here we are back again. I am live streaming on Twitch TV and YouTube. And today we are going to have some tests with customs houses live, and people can watch that later, and we can use this for future discussions. So I prepared the setup to test customs, so I will load the save. I am on the GitLab version, which is 0.8.8.4. It's not the latest version because it was not updated, but then I will switch to internal test version where I have the improved customs houses. And I will show why it is not that easy to change the customs houses as somebody would think, and improve them. So first of all, I want to run a fast test of the normal standard vanilla ones, which I have on this branch. I already prepared the setup and also moved the setup to the other one. And you don't need to install any mods if you want to improve your customs houses. And what I think at this point is that it is best to use it is good to improve maybe the large customs houses, and I don't care about the medium and small ones because they should not be non-blocking, and there is expected to have traffic issues. But I can also show few things that people are not familiar with in this regard, and it will be not easy whatsoever. But we can point out several things that may be interested for people to know. And then I will take a break and come back later with another stream of something else. Maybe Timberborn, maybe Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, but probably Workers and Resources Soviet Republic will come tomorrow, and today we can have Timberborn afterwards. So what do we have? I have one small customs house. Then we have one large customs house and one medium customs house, and I try to make the distances as even as possible, but it's not exactly the same, so bear with me in that. So this is 493 meters from the customs. And then this is like 500 meters, even though I maybe misread the number there. Yeah, that is a little bit shorter. It's not exactly. Yes. And where is that small one? It's not a scientific test, so don't count on that. What I want to see or show are the differences. So here we have this distance. Yeah, it's that way. It's about 500 meters all over the place. So we are going to rename this into small customs storage. Put it there. Rename this into medium custom storage. And name that into medium custom storage and rename this into large custom storage. So these are the three storages. So then we need our vehicles, small customs. There is 24 vehicles in each depot. We don't need to use all of them, but we need to use some of them. So what will the plan be then? We will start the vehicles, and we have this storage which can contain 8,000 tons, and we will measure how much gravel can they take in a single month. And we can that will be not that easy. No, that will not be that easy. So we will do it differently. So now we are at 17. It's just started the day. We don't need to be that exact. So 17th January started. On the other map, other game, we can go with 17 too. So what we need is maybe to use just 20. We can use 16 trucks. That is 16 trucks out of 24 for each. Customs house, and we will see how long does it take on average to get for those trucks through. So let's launch, and here we are going now with all the trucks being dispatched. Obviously we will have queues at each customs, and I choose to import gravel because the loading of aggregates at customs is much slower. So it takes a little bit until those trucks are loaded. You can see that it is loading very slow compared to other resources, and gravel imports are one of the most important early in game, because now we are dealing with this because of the cosmonaut realistic mode, that people need to utilize these much more than before. So now we are going to measure how long it takes for 5 trucks to pass through the customs house. But we don't even really need that, because we can just check how much will they bring into and how much the differences will be. So the small customs arrived as first. Each truck brings 12.9 tons of gravel, and you can see simply by these numbers which will be the fastest. And we will run the test. Maybe we started at 17, so we will go until the end of February. Then we can create a screenshot, and then we will switch for the non-blocking customs houses and see the difference there. And in between we can see how long does it take for 5 trucks to be dispatched through. So we will wait until there will be 5 trucks, and then we will wait until the 5th truck will enter, because that should be the time. So there is not. Okay, so let's get best timer. So when the next truck enters, we will count for 5 trucks to enter into, because that's the time which may be the average. So now it moved, and now when the 6th truck starts to move into customs, we will stop the timer and we will have a good estimate how long it takes for 5 trucks to be serviced or loaded or get through. So until now we have only 1. Now the second gets in. Oh, that is not very good, that but it will just make it longer. So the second went in. Now the third goes in. Now the 5th goes in. And when the 6th starts to move, and we will stop. Yeah. So it's 1 minute 20 seconds. For 5 trucks, even though it is not the right, because it's misleading, because we need 5 trucks to leave, not only enter. This is the reason why it is that complicated to test, because I don't care about how many trucks are waiting in the queue. Here we have trucks waiting in the queue. Here we have trucks waiting in the queue, but we need to know how much can be brought through. And we can clearly see that the small customs are slower than medium and large customs. And if we run it over time, it should be more obvious. But because there are more loading spots, and often happens that trucks need to wait more until they get into the loading, the medium can be faster than the large. And that is what I don't think it's right to have in the game, because large customs should have a little bit more throughput at least. But we will see how much is the difference in between them. Because we have queues at each customs house. So there is no difference. But you can see that the throughput of the small is less than the throughput of the medium and the large. and we want to just have a proof that it is not great enough to keep that, right? Because people are angry about those queues. But now let's have a look at small customs house, how the loading spots are there. So you have two loading spots here, which does not allow movement on the opposite direction, except if you would remove one of the spots, but that would be counterproductive in this case. So there is no non-blocking movement available for this. It would just not make sense. Now let's have a look at the medium. Medium should be somewhere here. And in medium we have three loading spots, but there is again no room for the vehicles to turn around. We would have to remove one of the loading spots, and that doesn't feel right either. Only if you remove one of the loading spots, and then you would have, but there is no room for the vehicles to turn at the back, so we cannot do an existing customs, a non-block. But when we look at the large customs house, you can clearly see that there is enough room if the loading spots are moved, and I will show you that to you. There is enough room for vehicles to turn around and drive out, and also enough room in the back for them to drive through, and we will see that later. So right now the medium customs has more throughput than the large customs, but only slightly, and it is because the movement inside the large customs, and this is what people mostly have problem with. We are at 1st February. And we can see that it is not that great. The large customs house has some issues due to this, that the distance in between entry and the loading is much longer than the distance in between entry and loading for the medium and small. And that makes it look kinda broken. But don't worry. We are going to show the modded improved customs in a little while, and then we will have a comparison, because we will have these numbers and we will compare how much more can be moved, and also we will observe how those vehicles move inside. So how much do we have here in queue? We have 10 vehicles at the large in queue, and we have 11 to 10 to 11 vehicles at queue at the small, and the medium, and at the small we have, if we find it, it should be, we can do it even this way. Where are you? Jump there. Yeah. And here we have 12 vehicles in the queue. So it is 12 for small, 11 for medium, and 10 for large. And we are using 16 vehicles for each. So still, the large customs has less throughput than the medium one, which is not very good. But do not want of me to comment everything non-stop. Just know that much to comment here. We will comment the next one. But here we can see that there is 9%, there is more than 12%. That means the throughput of the medium customs is by 30% higher than the throughput of small customs. Yeah, 12th February, so we should be fine until the end, and we start at 17th January and end at 12th. Or we can go for 17th February when it hits, then we will create a screenshot. And we will have 1 month to have some numbers. And save some time. So 14th. And we don't need to have exact numbers, because this is not a scientific test, this is just a test to prove things and show things. And also the video can be shown to the developer and he can see then how it works without the need of him testing that. So we are at 16th February now, so we will slow the time down. And then we will switch the game version. And actually you can see that there is less in the large custom storage than it is in the medium custom storage. And also you will see that it's a little bit weird how vehicles move in the improved customs, but you are free to download that mod if you wish. And the best of that is that it works for the mods. So we are at 17, I almost forgot to stop. So now we create a screenshot, and now we need to switch the game, but we can save this as okay, and we quit the desktop, and now we need to load the Steam version of the game, where I have the updated customs, but not updated as you would expect, because I have changed cancel, and again, because I changed the file and adjusted it to make it better than it was a little bit, because it was not ideal. So at least not good enough for me. And as I was able to do something about this, then I changed, added the missing lines, combined the two. So here we are now at the internal test, yeah, that's the internal test version, doesn't matter. So let's load that. The sound is a little bit louder. I have not the same settings probably. So you need to wait, and you will see that just by changing those files, the behavior of trucks will change. And you don't need the developer to change everything for you if you want to have this. Because the problem is it does not affect existing buildings that much as you would like to. So here we are again. We will rename this as small customs storage, and we are at 14 January. Time is stopped. Fine. We have the same setup. Good evening, Eagles up. This is large customs storage. No, I need to keep that on the screen, and this is medium customs storage. I have to multitask a little bit now here. What is that? Yeah, that's large, medium, and we need a small. Very small. The small was somewhere here. Yeah. And we will wait until at least there will be 15th January, and we will run the test till 15th February, because that will be exactly the same as it was. Okay, let's wait. And we will observe also the movement of vehicles inside those customs houses and see if there are any glitches regarding that. Okay, now we have 16, so we launch 16 trucks for each customs house to have the same. Amount. And then we can okay, all of them. We have 16 all, so let's launch that. and we will observe now how they behave inside customs houses, because that's important to see. We see already that they are parked the opposite, but we cannot see the other side properly. We can see it this way. So what will those trucks do at small customs? Okay, they are driving through that part, but they are going through each other, which is not ideal. So the modder found a space for them to drive through. So now we go to the medium, but they are glitching through structures a little bit, which is not ideal, but some people can live with that. And so here we are at the medium. Now I am interested in this one, how they are going to get through here. Yeah, that's bad. This shows that there is no room for non-block movement inside the customs house model. But if we look at the medium one, that definitely can be done, because we have now this truck glitching through that part of the building. And if you look at it, how they are driving through, you can see that they are driving in the back, which is right. Okay, I'm fine with that. But there is just a problem, the loading spots are a bit moved to the side. And now we are just waiting, was that 15th or 16th? 16th. And we can see that it was not driving the right way, because something is wrong there with the pathing of the mod. But we can see a clear difference in between the numbers here. And we can now speed things up to get sooner to that. And here we can see that there is difference. But did I launch it on 15th or 16th? I think it was 16th. We will watch till 16th, it will not make that much difference. But there is still a queue of 5 trucks, even with the improved. And at the medium we have queue of 9 trucks, so there is only 2 difference. And at the small we have queue of 12, so the small is the same in queuing as when it does not have the non-block movement. And the medium is better by 1 truck, no, 2 trucks. So the argument of it will make less queues there, it doesn't make that much sense, because we are running 16 trucks through the customs, which is a little bit too much. We don't need to do that. But we want to see how much will they be able to move. Until 16th February, and then we can compare. And as I don't have that, I will not do anything about this in my files, but I can show you my improved version of the large customs house, because I have it, but as you can see, this is a pre-built map. So even though I changed the customs, it's still the same as it was. It did not change the existing customs house here. Despite I have a different one installed, placed, different file placed into the folder. But I'm curious how much more can we move with these. And then we can compare. So we are going to wait till 16th. February, oh, that will take a while. So we can at least until then observe how it is wrong, so how those vehicles move inside and what could be improved for that movement. And you can see it's not that well designed, but if you really want to have more throughput through the customs house, you can use that mod. And especially with the large one, it makes a lot of sense. But what I can show you is an easy way how you yourself can change that. One single customs house. Because I think that is much better if you can change it easily. But it will apply only for new maps. That's the problem. But if you want that improved customs, like this one technically works, but you cannot do anything about existing maps, because this is an existing map now. And I can show you with an older map that before that customs has looked different than this. So right now we have clear difference, like still 30% more. Oh, it's 50% more for the medium than the small. And then it is another 50% on top for the large. And soon we will have the comparison how much more throughput there is with the improved customs from the mods. Hello Neogan. So 15 we will have the numbers now, and just take a closer look at that customs house, how it looks like. But now we will stop the time. Yes, here we stop, and we can now compare. So here we have the modded improved customs. Now I need to get the screenshot from previous test when we were running the normal ones. So the normal ones. Now let me tell you it this way. Let's create a screenshot, because that's important. So, normal small customs house. We were able, with the vanilla ones without non-block movement, move 1084 tons of gravel. No, not 1000. 926 tons of gravel, and with the modded improved we were able to move 1084, which means that we have 926, 86. We have about 16% improvement on small customs house. So the small customs with non-block movement is not that much slower than the small customs house with non-block movement. Now let's see the medium one, and we moved 1329 tons with medium without non-block, and with non-block we moved 1588 tons. That means 20% improvement. So there is not that much difference in that either. The only difference that makes sense to me is 38, because we were able to move only 1264 tons of gravel through the large customs house without non-block, but with non-block we were able to move almost twice as much. And here we can also see that they scale pretty well, but in case of the non-block they were not scaling, and the large customs house was not able to move. This is the modded one. You can just download the mod and use it, but just take a close look how that looks now. This is the vanilla customs with one file changed, which you can download in the workshop, and then it works. But now let me go and quit the menu, and just keep that picture in mind how that customs looks. Because now we will we will create a new game, and we will go with the normal default map, set everything at very easy, and I will show you how the customs in the default map, which was the first map, looks. And we have that custom somewhere here. Do you see the difference? They are not the parking spots in this, because it was generated before those parking spots were added. But the vehicles move the same way. So, and now let me show you something else, because I made a change myself through text editor and added few lines for the large customs, and anybody can do that. You just need to change the file, the config file for which one is that? Desktop. It is... oh, I don't have that there. Yeah, Milhost Soul. Yeah, that's the one. So let's now generate a game with a random map, because we cannot use any existing map as there are the old customs. But we will generate one game with the new customs. I changed the file, and you will see the difference there. And maybe if I would be able to create that mod, yeah, it would work. Don't need. And it's that easy that you can share the text with through messages, so you don't need even the workshop to get that done. So here we have, and now look at that. This is the customs. I edited the text file, Do you see how different those parking spots are? So now, let me make the setup, the same setup we had. Before I was about 450. So let's go with that. And let's get this in place. That modded one. And I just use that modded one because it has enough capacity for the test. No other reason. We need that. We need that. We need that. Then we get one depot here. Let's make these. So the whole discussion about non-functional customs is quite pointless if you can see here's a bug I found recently. If you player can change it. So let's do the same. Let's buy those dumper. And that's 12. And that's 16. Now let's set up the line. We are going to load gravel there and unload there and set that to be a gravel. And now copy all the settings. That. Okay. And now let's launch that. Are we running? Yes, we are. So now let's have a look how this works with my version. I edited only one file. I did not need to download anything. I just opened it in text editor and replaced one text for another text. And look how those trucks will move now. But the problem here is that you can do this only for new maps, or you need to edit all customs houses on the map that exists and in map editor. I can show you what that means. So here you will see that when I just did the editing and how the trucks will now move, and they will move much better than they were moving before, and they avoid all those barriers and they will not collide there. But sometimes I am talking to everybody who can watch now or later, because it's also on YouTube, and YouTube is stored until I delete the stream. Because on Twitch there is only 2-month archive for videos, but on YouTube you have unlimited archive until you delete that. So I am doing this live and I am talking to anybody who is watching or will watch in future. And you can see how those trucks are now moving through the customs. And I did not need to ask developer to change something. I just did the editing on my side. It was one text file. And it's just text that has to be replaced and then added. And this is the only conflicting situation when those two trucks are close to each other. When but even that can be partially improved, I guess. So you can see that now the movement is much better and much smoother. But despite I edited the file, all existing maps have the same customs than they had before. So even if the developer would change the file, it would not change the gameplay only for the random generated maps. But I think it's not that difficult for people to change that single file because it's one file only. And now I think this works perfect. So now let's load the game. Which one? Let's say I load an existing game I have. So now I will show you what is the problem. The only problem. We discussed one problem, that a non-block would not work for the existing small customs and medium customs. That's one thing, because there is no room to make vehicles move inside. But it would work for the large customs, and I was writing about that to the developer and sent screenshots and also sent the text, and I have the file edited. Now you see here I have the default map and I have these customs here, which is now working as non-block because I edited that file. But there are no the loading spots. And in this case they are using the mod, the edit, not my edit. So you can see that vehicles will move in a glitchy way, not the perfect way I did, because the customs model is the old one, not the generated one. So it's not perfect in this case, nowhere near. But what a player needs to do if he has this problem, we need to get rid of those vehicles. And you can see that they are not moving the best way. Problem will be how can we... I will have to edit those tracks there. Is there any track inside? But even just installing that file, you can help yourself if you want more throughput in the large customs house. But I would not recommend to use that for small and medium. They don't make sense that much. So can we get you out? Finally. Yeah, that takes them quite a long time to load and unload. I will show you, just wait a moment. So now what you need to do, you need to activate cheat mode. And we need to go to system functions. No. Where is the terrain editor? No. We need to here we need to activate the terrain editor. Where is the terrain editor? Landscape editor mode, yeah. Now Resources, trees, rocks, borders. Workshop, building, water erosion, borders, rocks, trees. Where are those? Rocks, borders, water, terrain, mud. I don't want to deal with resources. Container generator, no, where is that? So it's not that easy. Let's go quit the menu. I'm doing fine. And now let's get into, where is that? Yeah, we need a terrain editor. Let's use that, why not? So we need to do some editing of terrain. Because I have the same border post here, so it's not that much a problem. We are crashing because that's an old save, of course. A very old save, and vehicles were removed. Hello, Martin. How can we do this? We need to open the save, make it an editor save, but it will just... No, we need to find a way. Yeah, this is the problem, that it does not change the existing buildings. So here we can control okay, cheat mode. And now we need the landscape editor. And yeah, here are the civilian, and you need to do this. You need to demolish the building. And replace it back. civilian. Where are customs? Large customs house. And voila. Put it like this. We can even adjust this piece here if we are already there to make it smoother. Use that. That way, and then adjust these. And you just need to do reconnect everything as it was. And we cannot build that because we have the realistic mode online. That goes there. That goes there. And that goes there. And now we need to not draw distance. Now return of landscape. And all of a sudden we have a problem here with something. Disable realistic mode. Now it's built. And you can see now the customs house has the same parkings as I have in my updated version. And you can see this one is that way, and here we have the other one which has them differently. And what is this? I have no idea. Why is that way? So it's not that easy from the developer side. But if we can get these customs somehow in game, I would be happy to have them. I mean the large one with this improved movement. I don't care about medium and small ones. But you can see there's the same building, but this one is the old one. And now we can save as. So let's load that. How will that look like? But we already see the glitch with the border. I'm curious if it will improve when we reload. Oh, now it's back to normal. But we have these customs improved, and this one is not. So if I would like to do that, let's get my save from Repubic, area Soviet, save. And what was that? G9, I guess, was the last one. That. And we need to move it into Steam Games. Common. Soviet Republic. Media Soviet, save. Now we cannot load that because it does not show up until we reload the game. Okay, we have those screenshots, and now we need to run the game. So we will load Armenia G9. So here we are at the problematic part, because with existing maps now I opened an existing map of mine, which I am playing now, and despite I have the improved customs movement, I will not have the improved movement inside this, I guess. Let's see. So what can be there changed? So now if I would like to improve that and change it for better, so we will run this test here. I have to improve that here, so I will change this one single customs house because I have that in use. And I will show how it will improve afterwards. If we can get the truck out of there. Somehow these are moved a little bit off. One truck left. How many lines do we have here? It will be quite a bit of a problem. So we need to do cheat mode. And now we will have a problem. Because we need to set that. Do this. And then will we crash? No, we will not. And so we now need to wait for these to leave. So you need to do this for your game if you want to get the improved customs. And even then I don't know if it will work correctly. So we have this one. It was connected like this maybe. That's the way it was. Maybe it was a little bit further back. To connect that and then connect that and then that. Like this. And then we need to connect this. That's a problem here. I did not place it exactly the same way as it was. Yeah, that's exactly not what I want. So this is the problem any player has to face. when replacing the customs. I did not place it exactly how it was. That will be wonky. So that, and then we need to disable landscape, and then we need to disable realistic mode, yes, and now we need to construct that with rubles and that with rubles and that with rubles, and then we just put back this piece of road we have here. Yeah, and now we technically have it back as it was. Not exactly the same, and we have couple of vehicles which will be lost now. Yeah, because we don't have any vehicles now running there. So you need to bear in mind that if you have any lines going there, it will not work. So this now still is broken connection there. You just cannot have that right. So this is what a player has to do if he wants the improved customs house on his existing map. What I can try to do is quit to desktop. Now let's try do the same thing with the file. And what will happen for existing? So let's go into my edits and let's go to my GitLab version of the game. where we don't have the improved customs. I just put it there. We replace the file, and now let's run the game. Where I did not have that improved customs. Now let's see what will happen with an existing save. Because that's one file to be replaced, so we load our existing map. I replaced that one file, Sol Milhost config, and now I should have the improved movement inside my customs house. Despite I did not have that. And the developer did not have to do anything. I just replaced one file, which I can save, and with any update I can just replace it again. So I am curious what will happen, because I had the normal customs. Nothing changed. No non-block. They don't have so let's see. I am curious about this, because I did not do this before. So we are not crashing. So let's see how will trucks behave now when they come to the customs, where there was no improved customs available in this one. And it goes in. But it ignores that I have a better setting. Let's see. That's only one file replaced, and you can have that. So easy. But it takes forever to load these trucks. But why do they behave like Because I have a different pathing for it, so where did they got that pathing? Yeah, because the problem is that the parking spots are defined in the building placed on the map, but the movement of non-block is changed. So it would require a little bit of editing of the numbers. Is there enough space? Yeah, so let's load the customs test. No, you cannot do that with script. You don't need any script, you just see that you can change one single file even if you don't have non-blocking customs, and you all of a sudden have a functional non-blocking customs. See, they turned immediately, now they are going back. And they are going through those barriers because I have the movement defined for different parkings. Here. If you think so. But you see, there is not enough room. So those parkings need to be moved as I move them. Because it's not the right one. But to replace all these, you need to replace the customs in your map. Or you just use the improved customs from the mod and you immediately get the non-blocking, even though it was blocking before. So if I would like to have my map, which not, I want to load my map, load selected game. I would have to do the whole stuff, and I can do that with that single customs house which I have, because why not? Now do it properly. I have, so now we can do a tutorial how to do that. how you replace an existing customs. So first of all, we have to get all the vehicles. Set up. Let's use this. Yeah, there will be quite a bit of confusion here. So it's not that easy to replace an existing customs house as it looks like at first sight. Oh yeah. Because right now we need to get 5 lines sorted. Before we do that. And we also still have quite a few distribution offices running there. So which ones have that as a connection? You have that as a connection. So if I would know which one, do you have that? Any other that has that as a connection? Because I really don't know which vehicles are going there. So exports last year we were bitumen, mechanical, chemicals, fuel, electronic, iron, power and alcohol. Iron is from the fuel is through, bitumen is through train. You are taking mechanical, alcohol, chemicals and electronic, yeah. So you are the only the only distribution office for the task. So now we need to recall all. Need to recall all vehicles. Like there. And then this one is here. You are 3. You will be recalled there. That's 2. Then we have this. What is your fuel exporter? Oh. Oh. Oh, actually we have okay, so you are now so we have a train, custom line, Wester fuel exporter is going to be deleted. This is going to be renamed. Yeah. And now you are heading into no, you will go now to depot. You will go to depot and the other one. And that one is oil tank, bitumen exporter. You will go there for now. Yeah. So it takes longer than you would think it would. Bitumen exporter, so that doesn't need to be there. And we have only 2 lines then. So do we have any vehicles inside? We are going to turn off realistic mode for this. Temporarily. And get the truck out of that room. And it will work as a showcase. Now the vehicle left the area, and now we need to mark where is that spot. Okay, we cannot place that right there, but we can place that like here to mark where that should be, and then place it like here to mark where that should be. Nice. Now that means we now can turn on the cheat mode. We need to turn on landscape. Now we are going to remove these roads. And then remove these roads. And remove these rails here. And then move these rails here. And now we took the dozer and delete the building. And now we place it back as it was before. And it was like this. Another thing we need to adjust are the elevations somehow. I think we need to raise it a little bit. Because we are too low. We raise the area. I think we can raise it even more to that height. Level that area here. And now let's get that customs house in place. It's going to be like this. Need this to be built for rubles, need this to be built for rubles. And this one goes there, this one goes there, and that's not right. So we will adjust these rails. Like that. And that's okay, that can be there. And if we are at this point, we will just... maybe not, we can make it longer. Like to this point, move this, let's make it that way. Make it that way, then that. Okay, that goes there. There, it's a little bit closer, but that's okay. Now we turn off landscape mode and pay for these tracks. Let's launch, build that. So that's done, and the last thing we may just adjust this here a little bit, and I will build this part on my own. Hopefully we don't crash. That will be hail. Strangely here, of course it will. It will because it does not have the proper distance. Okay. Really, you need to do this to me. So that can go. What's wrong with you? Okay, that can go. We can set that to be built. Now we can remove this and adjust the terrain a little bit. That way, connect that. So temporarily we are out of the western border, we don't have the connection. Now we can remove this, which we used. Then we go for the roads that will be constructed, and we unpause and build that for rubles. And now we have the improved customs house in our republic. Then there are others that can be changed too. But I think I will not do that right now. I will do that once again in future. So, but that shows that it's not that easy from the developer's side to do with this part. So technically we can do this, and then we need to build these rails, and then we need to build these roads. Of course we have a problem here with the road. Let's do that, and then it's buildable. And we are running at high speed, and I don't want that. Go back to normal. So it will take them a while to build it, but we can set this as the highest priority, and then we can turn on the realistic mode too. general debug function. Landscape editor mode is. So now we just save as. And save it. And that's disabling cheats and loading the game. So technically you can use it only for random maps. You cannot use it for existing maps, any existing maps from the editor, from the workshop, because in workshop they have the old customs. But I can make a file that would just, but you don't need even to just download the workshop item and use that. Yeah, not the default, any map you have. If you have the default map, if you have the Ukraine DLC map, if you have the Flatland with Hills map, or Soviet Island doesn't have any customs, but for example Fjordland or whatever existing map you have, if it was made with the old blocking customs, it will not be improved. But if you create a new map or edit an existing map and replace all the customs, then you can have the non-blocking one. So for example, I replace this now for showcase. I will keep that for now, because even if I change the file for the blocking one, the parking spots will still remain the same there. So at least I improve the spots for parking. And then we can have two files. One for blocking, one for non-blocking. For example, definitely the placement of parking, the loadings was improved here. And there is no collision with the pavement there. So now we are in a normal game temporarily. And I don't want to do anything else, because I don't want to edit now all, but at a point when we can get something done from the developer, we may replace all the rest of customs. But I will use this updated one temporarily. I will use it as long as it will be there. I think what I don't agree of changing all the customs, like small and medium. I think those are fine. But I can argue for the changing of the large one on the developer side for upcoming. And I think there is no argument against that. Just to change, it is only one file that has to be changed and it breaks nothing. Actually, it's only one file, but as you can see, my parkings are moved. So for existing maps, you need just one file to be changed and you will have that customs house a little bit wonky, or you will replace it on your map. Or yeah, for existing maps, if you don't replace the customs house, you will still have the wonky one. So that's the thing. So there are a couple of things the developer would have to deal with that are not there, obvious immediately there, because he can replace easily that file. That's not the problem. That's the easy part. But the other part is how will the vehicles behave inside the existing customs. But at least we can see that there are things that are hidden from plain sight. Yeah, and that's not that you don't. I think the easiest solution is not the easiest solution is just to give players the mod, the proper mod in the workshop, and or somewhere on the internet, and they just use the changed file and they don't need to do anything else. They always, when the game updates, but I don't think it if it updates all the stuff, then you just replace the file again. But you need to have like 3 files, actually 3 or 4. That's the problem. Or is it? You need 2 or 3. How can it be done? 2 or 3? Because you have the old placement of loadings. And now here is the new placement I made of those loadings. Then you have the blocking old and the non-blocking old, and then you have the blocking new and non-blocking new. So if somebody generates a map, what will happen if somebody generates have a map with old customs, and then the file would be replaced by default? Then his movements inside the customs would be wonky. So there are these problems that if you have the new placement of loadings and you have it by default, I mean you create a new map, it's no problem. But old maps, you have the old placement of parking loadings and you have the new movement for vehicles. So in that case, you will have wonky movements in the back through these barriers. But you can either replace your customs, or you can replace the file for old customs, but then you will have problem if you start a new game. So this is what we need to deal with, that there is one problem and there is other problem. You cannot deal with all of them. There is always a player side interaction required. Always there are players who have to do something. So why is not better to How can we do that? I need to think about it. I need to prepare documentation for that. So actually, at least we have discussed all the differences and we have some numbers. To be able to deal with that. I think it's somehow doable, but really need to bear in mind the existing saves. But I think we can discuss this in upcoming report for the community, if the developer is interested in. Yeah, but just bear in mind that I was starting with medium customs. I could even start with small one and that would not make that much a difference. But I will prepare the table of the throughput to show the numbers. Then I will put together the alternative scenarios. And if he agrees, we can discuss that and there can be some change maybe made. But I can at least deal with I can discuss the main problems we are facing when we would like to change the customs. But I am all for the change for the large one. That would make sense to me. Anything there? Okay. And then from there, we can go there. Load. So we need you to get there, and after that you need to get there. That goes off. There you wait till loaded, this is loaded, this is to be unloaded. Then you don't do anything there. Go to camel import, then you go to cargo. Then you go to front loading, unload. Okay, we need to do some shenanigans there. That's done. Missile lines. Oil tank. And then I understand that people play differently. I just play the way as I play because I would just skip the problems easily. I would not be able to observe the bugs and I would not be able to plan properly. I understand because I'm watching, for example, B-Baljo plays totally differently like me and I cannot play that way for sure. because I want to see problems, and I want to do things differently than I do them in real life. I want to take my time and do better decisions. I am so tired of making hasty decisions, and be sure I am making a lot of them every day. More than I like. If I would be that patient, I would be a millionaire. Just imagine I'm not patient enough to be a millionaire. I lost so much money because of impatience this year. And in game I don't need to worry about time that much. But yeah, people forget about the cosmonaut challenge requires time. And they are used to play things a different way. I am playing other games too. And for example, you can see also when I play Timberborn, and I will come back to that today. I'm just waiting for these things to be completed, because it's a good showcase what you need to do if you want to replace the customs for new ones. We would not be able to build these roads, so those were built by auto build, despite we paid for them. We can also get signals there, because we need to now, because we will not be able to get a train in. Yeah, we need to think about this. Just to get some signals, because now we have them connected into one block. That would be bad. Let's do it properly. That way, now we have proper signals there, and it will not cause problems. It's not that much slower. Technically, how much slower that is? Where do we have that screen? Where do we have that screenshot? How much is the difference? So it was like, where is my calculator? Just don't have the mental capacity now to do the math in my mind. So we had 1264.94 divided by 1329.53. So that was 5%, but it is a margin of the road length. It's by the margin of the road length there. So what we need here is oh, Okay, so now we can use these trucks again. Where are those? Oil tank. Yeah. And that goes back. And then this goes back. Exports of that. Okay. And then the last one. So this was the last one. We need to get that. This is it. We can improve it a little bit. Because right now you should be able to import grain in containers. So what I think it can be done here, that this part here can be moved slightly. Yeah, that was just one file was edited and now they can do that, but here we have some wonkiness on that side. And then maybe here it can go with more, but they will collide in this area. I think that's not that much a problem. I cannot be utterly perfect, I think. I can do some changes. So here we have that. It can go to so let's do some changes. I need to open the file, so we are now playing the GitLab version, right? GitHub. Right, Republic. Media Soviet. Building types. And we need to open Zol Milhost. Edit. Just try to edit the file. Now here we are. So this one can go to like 6-ish. To 6. Okay, that's 6. And then this one can go to like 40. To like ish. Then let's see. Now let's quit. Because I need to save that file, and let's see how it will change if I save it. Now let's launch the game again. So now I changed two numbers there just to we will see how they will behave here. Do you really need... no, okay, it's not in the lag mode again. Now I want to see how it will drive, but not especially at this point here where it will turn, because I added some did not change anything. Yeah, because I made a mistake here. Because I made a mistake here. Let's see. Okay. Hit the desktop once again. Because I did not edit at all as it should be. No. So now the movement should be changed. Then I can finally take a break and go to play Timberborn for a little bit. And tomorrow is Friday finally, and we can have some. So now let's look at that. If the game gets so now the vehicle should drive a little bit more forward and then turn. Not... yeah, it does. Great, so that changed. So if that movement so this movement here is the thing that makes it a little bit funky. Here on 5, let's say, and don't, you can watch the stream from the beginning. There you can see how much you can have. It just doubles the throughput of the large customs. Nothing more, nothing less. You will still have queues in front. It does not remove them. Let's need that there still. It does not remove the queues. They will still be there. The bottleneck is that this distance here at the large customs is more longer than the distance in small and medium. That means it slows and there are more trucks inside parked. It means there is more time spent traveling from that entry to the loading and from loading to the exit. That is the bottleneck there. And actually, when you have it this way, the truck still needs to travel way longer. It's not that, but at least at this part you have only how to describe it. The main problem with blocking one is that you can have a truck waiting here and all 5 can need to get out, and then so it's 6 times the distance when it waits until it gets in sometimes. It can, there is solution for that too. But you will not have the that nice movement which I have here, because I moved the loading spots. But for the existing ones, the improved customs works just fine from the mod. You need just to replace one file. Only one file needs to be replaced or edited. That's all you need to do. So if people know about that, they can do that by themselves. But they will have to live with a little bit of weird movement. I can show that, just wait for. But I will show you what will happen for existing saves in a moment. How will track move inside? And we will end the stream by that. But I'm waiting for this row to be done. But why? We just can save it here. Save as. H1. So we save that. So we go and load this one, and here you can see what will be the movement like for existing saves if that one file is changed. And if somebody wants to fix that, he just replaces the file. So see, now the coordinates I added. So this is the problem, that trucks are driving through those barriers in the back, because the loading spots are a little bit moved. But it works for existing saves too. There is just this cosmetic problem, but if you want to solve that cosmetic problem, you will need to manually replace the customs in map editor by enabling cheat mode and delete that and replace it back. Because you have also collision on this spot. Because of that I moved the loading spots. And also here is a collision, so it's not that it was collision free before. And see, here the drag will drive through, but my version moved the loading spots one here, and these are moved a tiny bit to the side to avoid this collision here. So this would happen for existing saves if you replace that. Yes, it can be done. This is what will happen if the file would be changed by default through update. And I don't think it's that much catastrophic to have this glitch here for existing saves. Because you can always, if you want to replace the customs house by manually, and the new one you cannot do, we would have the different loading spots and the movement would be fixed for them. I think it's not that tragic situation, and it doubles the throughput. So without that, we would have 10 trucks waiting here. Now we have only 5. So there will still be queue because it's only 5. I think it's fine also with functionality. We have some collisions here. And maybe it can be improved somewhat. Can or cannot. We can make also that truck to turn a little bit more. Huh. Wait a minute. We can also... Yeah, this can be here sold a little bit because there is a truck that has to turn around. We will see. That's this one here. So we can do with this one. And it goes. basic, just to make it, give it more room. Yeah, and that can be changed here. So we'll go to 8. We'll go to 5. Let's do 0.8. 0.8. So here we can do it in this way. We will do it this way to show the difference. Enable Enscape mode, and we will place another customs right next to this one. And you can see them side by side then. Then do this. And you will see how the movement changes. Okay, we need to landscape, save as, create a new save. And now let's quit. I will do the last changes, save the file, and we will have them side by side. And you will see what is the difference in movement. Tinton Cobalt, thank you very much. So let's set up all of them. How many do we have here? 8. Oh. Okay, let's do this, load gravel, wait, then set them up to this. Thank you very much, Neokan. Much appreciated. And now do this, close that, and let's run this, and we will see what's the difference in movement between those. So I did some adjustments. So you can see that their loading spots are a bit different, replaced. And here they drive through the barriers. So now I want to see the movement of those, how they will leave, because I adjusted the movement trajectory for them a little bit. And especially I am interested on the left track, how it will move, because that was and I think we can adjust the movement of those a little bit, like add a half of turn. So now how will this go? Not that bad. Dark model. So what can we do? 42, 42. So that would be a little bit. Like added that as 4, that as 5, no, that is will be 7, and that is to be 16, 14, that is to be 5. That is the V4. Okay. And here you can see, so now let's save as. Yes. Save. And quit the desktop again. And let's save another adjustment I made. And let's run that again. Last time. So I adjusted it a little bit to avoid vehicles colliding with those barriers at the back. It's not that easy. Don't need to be an expert if you know how it works. Okay, so let's see. I want to see this truck, how it will drive. That one. Does it make... It makes difference. Now they take a little bit. Wider turn near these barriers. So here you see it went a little bit further, then it turned. If I did that correctly. First one did not mean that. Because now they're queuing on the other side. Oh, it's okay, just enough. But on this is the original one. This is the edited one. This model here is what you get if you download the improved customs mod. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Customs. Where are you? Who's there? But which one is that mod? Yeah, because I have not on the first. Yeah. So this is the mod. So this you can get this is the mod, and with that mod you get this version of the customs by just replacing the millhost soul. You need to replace only one file there, and that's called this one. So it's that easy. So even without the game update, you just can use that mod and have this version of customs available. And when you will have a little bit different movement inside, of course, because I have different coordinates. But you will have the function of this in this one until there will be an update, if there will be any. But with my file they move it this way, but you need to replace the customs house manually through map editor. And I think Temper. Do you mean the text file I have? That's projects. Let's replace and then we need the shared files. This share. But you need to replace the proper file. Then in this folder what I want is this, just to test the address. No, I want this. Why you? Allow me to do that. So at least if you want, you can keep the file and you can use it anytime when there would be an update. You just replace that one file and you have these customs. I think I will end it here. And I will come back with Timberborn after break. So thank you for watching and chat, and I hope we made some progress today regarding testing, at least. It was longer than I expected. Anyway, see you, good night. I will be back in maybe an half an hour. Until then, or if you don't come back for Timberborn, bye, see you, good night.